Yo, looking for more exclusive content from your main man, LoShawn Parks? No problem. You should be over at the YTTA Network Facebook page. I don't know why you ain't already over there. What's taking you so long? You should already been had this. You should be over there right now. Go join. Don't wait. Right now. Get it done. Without further ado, man, let's get into the video. YTTA all day. Let's go.
I love it though, you know. Put your hands to the constellations. The way you look should be a sin. You my sensation. I know I'm preaching to the congregation. We love Jesus, but you done learned a lot from Satan.
What's going on, y'all? All right, so I'm here doing my live feed right now, and I got probably about 30 minutes with y'all. I gotta get down the road. I gotta go down the road. Got a load headed to Florida, and going to deliver some roll roofing down in Florida. I believe, man, it's a lot of us trucks that's going down there. I believe that this is disaster relief roll roofing material that we're going to assist with for Hurricane Matthew that's going through there, or that has already went through Florida. So it's a convoy of us trucks that's actually going. Shout out to my man Paul, man. He watches me on YTTA affiliates, YTTA Network. He also watches my videos on YouTube. So he's right behind me right now, strapping his load and tarping his load, and he's on his way down to Daytona, Florida, with the load to get it off, which we're all delivering on Monday. I know you guys see the title and everything. We're going to talk about tonight here real quickly, real briefly, about leasing your truck on with a company or with a carrier. All right, I'm gonna speak on that. I know Steve Neal has spoke on it a little bit earlier tonight, so I'm just going to touch on it from the lease standpoint. You know, if you're looking to lease your truck, if you have a lease truck or anything of that, the pros and cons and things that you want to look out for when you're leasing your truck on with another carrier. So people have asked, or I've seen Steve Neal talking about leased companies, or if you have a leased truck, if you're looking into leasing your truck on with a carrier, mega carrier, mom and pop's carrier, small carrier, and I'll tell you guys my opinion on it. All right, and I think that not only my opinion is not valid, but I believe that it is valid, but I believe that it is also a business, a good business move to do. All right, so if you have, like, if you're at Prime right now, a lot of people don't know that you can take your lease from Prime and go elsewhere with it, okay? They're not concerned with where you go, they're just concerned with making that payment, okay? That's all that they care about, is making the payment. And with Prime, if you take your lease away from Prime, you have to pay 2 lease payments up front, and also your deferred payment, all right, in order for you to leave Prime and go to another carrier. Now there is, from my understanding, there's only about 1 or 2 places that I know that Success Leasing will not allow you to lease your truck onto, and one of them is Mercer. Okay, I know that they don't allow that. For some reason, Mercer and Prime and Success Leasing has an issue in their contract somewhere where they're not for it. Okay, but if you do decide to take your truck away from whatever carrier set, or for example, okay, if you go to a dealership and you have some trucks that you got from the dealership and you're making payments on it, things you're going to want to realize before that you sign that truck on to be leased to a company. And this may sound crazy because I'm with Prime, but to me, I wouldn't take my leased truck to a carrier that had company drivers. Okay, that's me. I wouldn't take it to a place that had a significant amount of company drivers. Okay, now the reason I say not to take it to a place that has company drivers, you're in a fight with the company drivers, okay, for as far as freight goes, okay? Business wise, it's going to make more sense for them to make sure that their company drivers get the better paying loads. Reason why? Because it's a business, so they're out to make money. For instance, if the load is paying $3 a mile, they don't really want to, they're going to try to give that to their company driver, okay? That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to give that to their company driver, and they're going to pay the company driver pennies on the dollar, and the company is going to win, okay? So if I pay, for instance, if I pay as a company, like Prime, if I give the company driver 40 cents a mile, and the load is paying $3 a mile, then as a company, I profit $2.60 off that load, okay? Profit $2.60 off that load. So I'm gonna make sure that my company drivers get the best paying loads because I, as the company, profit, okay? Now, when I have lease trucks, I understand that they have to get loads and things of that nature, but at the same time, as a lease driver, it is your business. It is your operation. You need to know what your bottom dollar is. You need to know what you will and what you will not move for. And there's a lot of lease drivers out here that don't know what their bottom line is. They don't know what they will move their truck for, and they don't know what they won't move their truck for. So when you don't know your bottom dollar, you don't know what you're going to move for, you'll settle for anything, okay? You'll get into the habit of accepting freight from your dispatcher just because you don't want to reject it because you don't want to piss him off, okay? Or you don't want to be on his bad side. But at the same time, when you're leased on to a company that has company drivers, this is something that you have to look out for, okay? This is something that you have to look out for. They will swindle you. They will send you loads that are company loads. And it's up to you to figure that out and know that that is a company load, that a company driver should be taking that, okay? They're not gonna hold your hand, and they're not gonna be the ones to tell you that that's a company load. They're gonna see if you take it. That's why I say it's a thin line between rejecting freight and taking freight, okay? It's also a thin line between knowing when to take the freight and when not to take the freight, when it should be rejected. Would I lease on with Prime if I was coming from outside of Prime and didn't know Prime's way? Would I lease on with Prime? No, I wouldn't. And the reason why I wouldn't lease on with Prime is because they have company drivers, okay? And I see how everything works and how the operation works here as far as company drivers getting the better paying loads, okay? Now they will try to tell you that they're not, Prime will try to tell you, or dispatch will try to tell you that they're not getting the better loads, but mathematically and business sense wise, it doesn't make sense for the company drivers not to be getting the better paid loads when they don't have to pay that company driver nothing but cents on the dollar, pennies on the dollar, excuse me. If I had a truck right now, if I went to a dealership right now, okay, and bought a truck, would I lease that truck on, that single truck, would I lease the single truck on with Prime? And the answer is no. Now, would I bring a fleet to Prime and lease on a fleet of trucks with Prime? Absolutely. See, now that's the difference that you need to understand in business. A single truck leased on the Prime that you went to the dealership and got and brought it to Prime, it's not a good move, not a good business move. Now, to bring 3 or 4 more trucks to Prime and lease them and use Prime's authority, it's a great move, okay? And the reason why it becomes a great move, because of the consistency and the amount of freight that Prime has. So, you know, you got to understand the difference. I wouldn't lease on a single truck with Prime if I wasn't already with Prime, okay? And I wouldn't do that with any other carrier out here if I didn't have a fleet of trucks, okay? And they had company drivers. It's not a good business move. The best business move to do if you have a single truck, you went to a dealership, or if you got your lease and you want to leave that company, such as Prime that has company drivers, I would not go and lease it back onto a company that has company drivers. I would look for a place that had owner-operator drivers. They had brokers, they had load boards, basically where you got to run yourself. Okay, basically where you have to run yourself, you're your own dispatcher. That's what I would do. Or I would go to a company if they do have dispatchers and brokers and stuff like that, and they only dealt with owner-operators. And if they had a company drivers, the company drivers was to a minimum, almost to a point where it was like 10% or 5% of the fleet that is over there is company drivers, and the rest, the 90% or better, is owner-operators, okay? That way you're gonna make the most money because nobody has anything to hide over you, okay? They don't have the amount of company drivers to say, I'm giving this driver's making pennies on the dollar, so if this load is paying $3 a mile, we can get this company driver to do it for 40 cents and we pocket $2.60. Now if they're majority owner operators and lease drivers, then you're going to get the true value for what it is, okay? They're not searching for a company driver. Now they do search for people that will underbid you. That's why when it comes to broken loads, or when you got to broker loads, and when you got to get on stuff like that, you have to negotiate. Now you may get out negotiated, okay? You may say, I'll take this for $1.60, and the next man that's looking on the board may step up and say, I'll take it for $1.50. You just got outbidded, okay? So that's the stuff that you have to look for. But I'd rather be outbidded at $1.06, where I put in my bid for $1.60 and the person says $1.50 and he'll take it. I'd rather have that option than to not have that option available at all. Okay, when you get on with these companies, mega companies or mega carriers, you don't have the option to negotiate your rate. So you can't say, well, I'll take this load for $1.40, $1.50. That's not your option. This rate is already done. Okay, it's already Prime is already, or Prime or any mega carrier, they have already booked this load at this rate. Okay, and you can't negotiate it. Okay, it's either it's $1.13 and you're gonna take it, or you're gonna reject it. Okay, so people have asked me, if I leave Prime, where would I go? And the first thing is, I wouldn't go to anywhere that had company drivers on board, because I want the full range. I don't want to get undercut by a company driver, okay? And it's not that it's a bad thing on the company driver, but it's business. It's what the company is going to do. The company is going to give that better paying load to the company driver because they want to profit the most, okay? Now, if you're sitting beside a company driver, okay, it's you and it's a company driver, y'all sitting at the same location, all right? A $3 load comes across the board right then and there, okay? Comes across dispatchers, comes across sales board, whatever. They're not going to sit here and say which one is going to buzz in first like Family Feud. They're going to see company truck is sitting here, a lease truck is sitting here. Who they going to give the load to? The company guy. Because they know that they can pay him 40 cents on the mile. He's paying $3 a mile, and they profit and pocket $2.60. Okay? They profit and pocket $2.60. Now, if I give this to the lease guy and he's paying $3 a mile, we have to pay him 72% of this load, which means that he's making more than what we as the company is making. You understand? So it's all numbers. It's all a numbers game, okay? You guys could be sitting there side by side, a lease truck, company truck, and that load comes across the board. They're going to give it to the company driver first, okay? And you, as a lease guy, will catch the runner-up load, okay? Now, it may be another load that pops up on the board that may pay $2.50 a mile. Okay, you'll get that one, but you lost out on 50 cents a mile. You know what I mean? So it's things to think about, man. This is stuff that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people will go lease their trucks on with a mega carrier, or they'll go and lease their trucks on with a company or a carrier that has company drivers. And to me, you couldn't be making a bigger mistake. Okay, that's a huge mistake. It's a matter of thousands of dollars that you're making a mistake on.
You do what you want when you pop it.